go. She's on 5 to 7, 9 to 10 p.m. Fallback Productions. Talks about topics of the day and loves her country, the U.S. of A. Got her Get Right rally on tax day. Got family country Trump is her thing. She don't know the songs, gives Dave a hard time. Don't worry, it's fine, he's still her Valentine. Keeps us in the loop, don't you know? Sit back and enjoy the Lucretia Hughes Show.
We gotta fight for America. Sheena, this is something we ain't did in a long time. Girl, our guest is already here. I mean, because we're going to be raising hell anyway. So since he's the host of Raising Cain, let him go ahead and just, I don't know, much stump the Democrats. Dave, bring Nate on. Hey, Nate.
Hey, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you. What you got to say about last night? That was a hootenanny. It was tears. It was laughter. It was people getting almost arrested by the sergeant at arms. And all but all, it showed the evilness inside of the Democratic Party and that they do not respect Americans or America.
You know, I think Trump, I think he actually set the Democrats up. You know, he gave them this speech at the very beginning saying how, you know, I could solve the biggest problem. You know, I could cure the biggest disease and they would never clap. They would never stand up. You know, I could fix the economy. They would never, you know, clap for that. And of course, they decided that that's what they were going to do. So then later, when Trump was bringing up things that he had nothing to do with, but that just were about other great Americans that have done wonderful things, that have overcome all kinds of odds, like that boy that had overcome brain cancer and who was, you know, blessed with an honorary a Secret Service, you know, badge. I mean, just what a heart-moving moment. And the Democrats couldn't stand for that.
No.
They could not clap for that. And they just looked absolutely like stone cold hearted idiots.
Now, they said they wore hot pink, you know, neon pink is for women's rights and everything else. Didn't they all Democrats voted against having, you know, standing up for women rights in the sports and everything else? So if they don't know what a woman is, how you rocking pink?
Yeah, right. What a hypocrisy. Yeah, all these women supposedly, you know, standing up for women, but yet when it comes down to, you know, women who have been basically abused, and Trump was brilliant in bringing the people, his guests that he brought, because it showcased the hypocrisy of the left at every opportunity and on every issue. I mean, it was just absolutely, you know, an amazing night. Trump, he's a comedian. I mean, you know, I loved the quip that he made about, you know, when he started getting into all the money that has been wasted, and he was talking about $40 million going to LGBTQI plus, you know, in some country that nobody knows the name of. And I mean, the crowd was laughing because we all feel that same way. When Americans look and see that our tax dollars are being wasted on programs basically spreading, we already are upset about that agenda being pushed here in this country, in our schools. But to know that we've got our own country propagandizing other nations with that nonsense, and here, you know, we see that our tax dollars are being wasted all over the place.
Well,
it was a very good thing for him to point out.
Right before the actual speech last night, all of them sound scripted. It was 22 Democratic senators, or I don't know, Congress people, they read off the same script. So when we looking at MSNBC, we're looking at Reuters, we were looking at the AP, they're all mimicking, but where they get their information from? Barack Obama or the World the World Economic Forum?
Yeah.
Who is scripting and writing this stuff for them?
Well, do you know, you remember there was a video, a YouTube video that came out. This was a couple years back, maybe even 4 years back. But it showed all of the media, the mainstream media, reading off the same sheet, you know, this is a threat to our democracy. Well, somebody brilliantly put together, I think they had like 4 of them, you know, early on in the night. They had a video that went out on X that showed 3 or 4 different Democrats, all reading off the same script. By the end of the night, somebody had put out a video that had like 20 or 30 of them. I mean,
It
it looked
was
just like,
Chuck Schumer, Fakeahontas, and Cory Booker. Those was the first
yep,
threes that
that's right.
literally sounded like each other. And speaking of Fakeahontas, Donald Trump trolling her as she is clapping like a seal last night for war. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm sitting here
Yep,
like, that,
yep.
ew, that was not a good look. She's a warmonger.
Yeah, she couldn't look up from her phone either. So, I don't know if she was playing Candy Crush or if she was just looking at all of the hate tweets coming at her.
Well, she might have been trying to look for that one ancestor that actually made her a Native American.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because my mom was watching with me and she said, what is she looking at on her phone? I said, probably at her 23andMe results, trying to see if there's anything new.
Nancy Pelosi, what was wrong with her?
I don't know. It looked like she, had tears in her eyes. I'm guessing it's because she's seeing the complete destruction of the Democrat Party. I mean, without any doubt, the Democrat Party is on its way out the door. I had a friend of mine who has been a Democrat his entire life. I mean, this is the kind of friend where, we get along great, but around election time, we have to avoid each other because, otherwise we might get into a fist fight. And, years back, I couldn't talk to him at all around political season. He text messaged me last night and he said, if your boy ends up getting a peace deal between the Ukraine and Russia, the Democrat Party is done for good. This came from a lifelong Democrat.
Well, you did hear Zelensky gaslighting and saying he's ready to sign the mineral rights over to the United States. But one thing that we're not hearing is that, I thought, people on the show literally came in the chat room and said he sold his mineral rights or signed them away in January to the UK. So what mineral rights he got to give us now?
Well, I don't know. This is going to be interesting because, at the end of the day, what a foolish thing for him to walk away the way he did. But, it came out afterwards, and I don't know what this person was thinking. I think it was Chris Murray or whatever, or Murphy, whoever the Democrat was, that posted on X a picture of them sitting at the table with Zelensky. And they posted this 45 minutes before he was at the White House, basically telling the whole world, yep, we colluded with Zelensky to basically destroy this peace deal on the table with Trump. That's how ridiculously irresponsible and just honestly, that's how much these people hate Trump. They hate Trump so much that they're willing to continue a war that would continue to cost the lives of millions of both Ukrainians and Russians. It is absolutely sickening, but that is what's going on. The Democrats can't see past their face. They cannot see the reality. They definitely don't see how bad they look right now in the eyes of the public.
Well, Zelensky did say over the weekend that American boys and girls are going to have to die in his war, and I'm putting a halt to it. Because I would never tell my kids not to sign up for military. But if we ever get a president that says you're going to have to go fight in Ukraine's war, I'm going to have to be like, no, that's not going to happen. And now, did they ever pass the draft?
Look, this is the way I look at it when it comes to that. There's a great saying that, I won't say on the radio because it's not appropriate, good, but it's go F yourself. I like the new version of that when it comes to Zelensky, which is go fund yourself.
I call him Little Pocket Man because, we have a little Rocket Man, but he's forever in somebody's pocket. So you heard about Zelensky going over the weekend to the UK, right? And they
Yep.
promised him like $2 billion loan. So as I'm taking notes and finding an article of what I think, besides, the speech from last night, I kind of rolled up on Gateway Pundit. I don't know what got me to read. Yes, I do. Her name is Christy Fowler. But yesterday, or today, when they was sending the weaponry, UK was sending the weaponry, and some of their soldiers, guess what Putin decided to do? Bomb them. So 130 people was killed, plus the cache of weapons. Do UK have any more to send them? Because we ain't sending them anything.
Yeah, I think it was it Canada said that they were going to send them a bunch of planes. What, the 6 that they own? I mean, it's ridiculous. The only thing that is going to stop Putin is the United States, and that's it. And so that's why Zelensky is, realizing his error and he's coming back to the table because The U.S. Trump smartly and wisely cut off all funding, including missiles and everything that were in transit. He said, nope, we're not allowing them to go over there. And I think that was absolutely necessary in order to force Zelensky to the table. I had a very interesting conversation with a Ukrainian pastor, Christian pastor, who is Ukrainian, who's lived there his whole life. He was out here in the United States and he was visiting a church, and I spoke with him, after the church, and I just wanted to get his opinion about everything going on over there, because it's hard to know what's actually happening and what's not, what the sentiment is of the people, because our media is just so full of propaganda. And when I talked to him about it, and I asked him, I said, how do you feel about it? Because both him and his son have served, in the medical wings of the military, because they got drafted and they had to serve over there, and they were serving on the front lines, taking care of soldiers that were getting blown to hell. And he said something very interesting to me that I was not expecting. I was expecting him to be all pro Ukraine and anti Russia. And you know what he said?
What?
He said, look, I'm not pro Putin. He says, and I believe we have a right to defend our country. He said, but I will tell you right now, the people of Ukraine are tired of this war, and they are tired of Zelensky. He is corrupt. And this is what this man told me. And he said, Zelensky will not end this war, because the moment that he does, his own people are going to bring him up on war crimes trials.
Ooh. Wait a minute now. Is these videos, have you been seeing these videos of these young men and boys
Yes.
getting snatched up off the street? What do you feel about that?
How in the world can a Democrat sit by and see these videos and think that that is okay? Think that we should be supporting a country that, number one, is snatching young men. I watched a video where a young man was snatched and grabbed and basically hauled off into a van, and he was yelling, for help, asking for help, because he had a child alone at home. Another man, I saw him snatched off the street. He was walking his dog, and they basically they let the dog go running off. And, so how can anybody tolerate that kind of thing? And the fact that you've got a country that Zelensky has stopped all elections.
Yep.
He has stopped all freedom of speech. He has stopped freedom of religion. He's shut down and banned the Russian Orthodox Church from operating inside the Ukraine. This is unbelievable. We are supporting a dictator at this point, and he is no better, in my opinion, than Russia's dictator, Putin. Look, I'm not for Putin, but at the end of the day, I don't see us. There's no advantage to us getting involved in this. And what Trump was trying to do by bringing in this mineral rights deal, which was brilliant, was the fact that, look, the UK and all of these other countries that have donated less than half of what we have put into this war, and it's in their backyard, and these people don't even pay.
Nope.
So that's the other thing too. They don't even pay their dues when it comes to NATO. So do you think NATO without the US is going to go and support the the Ukraine? Heck no.
Who was
They
it?
don't even
Was
have
it,
the resources to do it.
Macaroon. Macaroon. Yeah, Macaroon. That's what I call him, the Cookie Man, and also, Fresh Eyebrows, Trudeau. Those was the ones that was standing up, and then you have the UK. But I think the UK is going to have to back out, because we are the UK strongest ally. So it's kind of like a stab in the back.
Well, and they're gonna stop, because their own people aren't going to tolerate it for much longer. I think Trump is exposing everything that has been going on. He is exposing it all, and I think that the Zelensky realizes, I think, that he's not going to get the help that he needs. Even if Europe were to all of a sudden say, you know what, we don't need the U.S., we're going to move ahead and we're going to support you. They are risking escalating this to World War III. And their own people, I don't think, are going to sit by and tolerate that.
Angela Merkel used to be the prime minister for Germany, right? So when Trump was in office the very first time, he went over there to NATO, and you had, her on one side of the desk. You have Japanese ambassador on the other side, and Trump just sitting there listening like, hey, you pay your fair share. Matter of fact, aren't you paying a bribe to Russia to make sure that you can have flow of energy and oil? Why don't you pay your fair share? So if these countries are literally being funded or having a heating oil or something, if they're getting any type of benefits from Russia, why are they biting the hands that feed them? I'm gonna tell you this: for all my life, all I heard, we supposed to hate Russia. You didn't tell me why we were supposed to hate Russia.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us anything. And the more they shout about it, the more they're looking at it, and the more I'm looking at it, it's like, yeah, y'all about as bad as Putin. So I'm more like, hey, Putin, we know you're a psychotic killer. Now, we ain't going to take that away from you. We know you used to be the head of the KGB. All right, we know this, sir.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm kind of looking at you in a
Yeah.
favorable light compared to the Democratic Party and everybody else around the world.
Yeah, the Democrats they love to spin things and they utilize the intelligence community all the time to try to do this when it comes to Russia. We saw this in 2016 when they were trying to say that the Russians stole the election. And now you're seeing it again with them trying to, we saw it in 2020. You saw that all throughout Trump's, his 4 years in there, they tried to push the Trump Russia collusion thing. It turned out to be all bogus. Then you saw it again. Now you're seeing it again with them trying to say that Trump is, Putin's puppet, and they're making claims that that now that the you have U.S. Cybercom is shutting down their forward actions against Russia. That's an area that really upsets me because that's my background. Cybersecurity. I worked for Marforce Cyber, was detached to NSA. I'm very familiar with our offensive and defensive cyber operations in the U.S. And I will tell you right now, I read through what was being claimed, and the fact is that China is our number one threat when it comes to
Yes,
cyber,
yes.
followed by Iran and North Korea. Russia, yeah, we get hacked by them, but it's very little compared to China. China is massive. Even the Syrians, we've had issues with Syrian Electronic Army, but Russia is really not as big of a threat. And the fact is that if Trump is trying to bring peace, we have to cut off offensive operations with them. And I'm sure that we're getting agreements from them that they'll stop doing them against us as well. But that doesn't mean that we are stopping our defensive operations. In fact, our defensive operations are still very, very much alive. And those are handled primarily through the NSA and through our military commands that work in a detached way with NSA. And that I know because that's what I did.
I mean, I don't understand why they're crying about Elon Musk and Doge going in there and see your social security number, going in there and seeing your private stuff when we know for a fact that the Biden administration had Chinese people at the switchboard in December the 8th, and we didn't find anything out about that until January. So the hypocrisy coming from, I say K Street, the
Yeah.
lobbyists and the
Yep.
Democrats, they the ones that's tearing down our nation. That's the reason why Washington cannot work is because of K Street.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I think Trump's idea of moving these federal agencies out of Washington, D.C. is an absolute must. Right now, all of these guys are all down there centralized. To be honest with you, in this day and age, look, I know that we want to get government employees and all that coming back to work, and for most of those jobs, I would agree we need them to be working in the office because what's happening is you got a lot of these guys that are working from home and they're working two jobs and they're not really working their federal job. But for Congress, I would much prefer to see them working remotely from their own districts so that they could face the wrath of their own people.
Ooh.
If they have to go and show up at the grocery store where they know their constituents are going to see them and confront them about what's going on and how they're voting, I think that they will begin to do the will of the people a little bit better. But the other advantage to breaking it up and taking it out of Washington, D.C., bring them in once or twice a year for a ceremonial thing, but having them work remotely and having them work in their districts, I think will do the country a lot of good because number one, it'll make it harder for the lobbyists to get to them, and number two, it'll also force these guys to be back in their districts where they're going to be held accountable by the people that are voting for them.
So what are you going to do about a person like Adam Schiff? You got a house over there in Connecticut, and then you got one in California. And then let's just take it another step. Bathmouth Waters. I mean, she doesn't even live in her district, so they don't have a clue. And remember, her district is one of the poorest districts in California. I don't understand how these people keep getting elected at all whatsoever. Now, here's another topic because my mind splits like that. Sanctuary city mayor is getting going in front of Congress and having to testify in front of the committees. What do you think about that?
I think any sanctuary city mayor or governor that is, basically aiding and abetting criminals, because let's face it, I don't care what you want to call them, illegal alien, migrant, undocumented migrant, it doesn't matter. What they all are is criminals. That's the facts. When they come to this country illegally, they have violated the law. They're committing a felony. And when you have somebody who is aiding and abetting them, which these governors and which these, which these governors, and you've got city council members and mayors, and even some sheriffs that are involved in this.
AOC.
That's right. That is obstruction of justice. It's aiding and abetting, and it is a crime. And I can't wait to see the new FBI under Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, and the new Department of Justice under Bondi going and bringing charges against some of these people, because they need to. Absolutely. They need to do that. And guys like Adam Schiff and Maxine Waters, who are violating, FEC laws, they need to be brought to justice as well. Because when you make claims of, when you run for a district and you make claims that you are living there, and you're not, then that is a crime. And you have, in the case of Adam Schiff, you got him committing either. He's doing one or the other. He's either committed crimes with regards to election, election crimes, or he's committed mortgage fraud. One of the two.
Ooh, well, think about this, because I'm like with Elon. He kind of put it out there on his Twitter page. We need to figure out why our elective public officials, public servants, why they multimillionaires, and on their salary, because it doesn't make any sense. But do we have the cojones or the judges, or even another sergeant at arms that's willing to go in there and put the handcuffs on these people? Why are we keep talking about it? Because if it was you, if it was me, Dave, or anybody watching the show right now, we'd have had our whole houses kicked in and our assets frozen by now. What makes them so special?
Well, look, I was a federal whistleblower at the FBI, and I uncovered the FBI's cover-up of Hillary Clinton's crimes, mostly related to money laundering, where she had money coming back in the form of kickbacks through multiple charities. It was making its way through one NGO to another. It looks very similar to what we saw with what was going on with USAID and all these NGOs.
Oh, the Clinton Foundation. That is where she was
right.
smuggling all that money. Keep going.
That's right. That's right. So here's the deal. I know what their capabilities are for tracing out the money, and they will trace the money out. There's no doubt in my mind. This is a totally different FBI, a totally different Department of Justice. I think that we are going to see justice, and it's going to hold no bounds in terms of, protecting, political people. They have to go after these guys, and if they see criminality, then they need to prosecute.
What about the guy that just
money
stepped down from the Southern District of New York?
That's right.
He was let go, or did he retire like yesterday? He should have been arrested.
Yeah, they forced him into retirement. I'm sure he resigned, but I'm sure the conversation probably went something like this: "You better resign now, or we're going to fire you." And the way it works, by the way, it's to their advantage to resign, because if they stay working at the bureau, it's a whole the internal investigations can happen, and they don't need any warrant for that. So by them resigning, it basically puts a one layer between them and the law, to where now the burden of proof, falls to Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice in order to, prove probable cause in order to bring an indictment and get a search warrant. But when somebody's at the bureau, they can totally investigate them, and they don't need any warrants. So I'm sure he resigned because he saw the writing on the wall and he saw what was coming. And so, it'll be up to investigators to prove there was some criminality and not just department policy violations. But if they prove criminality, they can take his pension, and they should.
I did not know the FBI liked strippers and hoes and gambling so much. I sat there, what did they say? $1.3 billion? They racked up $1.3 billion in hoes, strippers, gambling, you name it, debauchery. So if they're that geeked up and that tore up, how in the world are they protecting or doing any type of investigations?
Well, remember, you had, I know back in the day, I think it was during the Clinton years and during even the Bush years, You had the Department of Defense got busted because you had all of these military guys that had, government credit cards, and they were going to strip clubs and they were spending money at strip clubs with, government credit cards. Then you had during the Obama years, you had the Secret Service got busted because they were paying for hookers. Remember down in South America,
Yes.
they were paying for hookers, down there. I mean, they've known about this stuff, but it's all coming out and it's all going to get exposed. And all of that has been happening on the U.S. taxpayers' back. I mean, that's the truth of it.
You ready? Are we ever going to see Seth Green, Epstein, MLK, RFK, JFK, Hillary Clinton, and Wiener's laptops? Do you think we ever going to find out any of this stuff and not stop speculating, but actually seeing the proof and the evidence? And then once that's going to happen, do you think that they're going to arrest some of these people first before they drop the information, or after?
I think we will. And I know this is going to frustrate people, but I don't think that the information is going to come out before arrests are made, because I would rather see justice than get titillated by seeing information come out. I want to see justice, and if that means I got to hold off seeing for another year while they're completing their investigation and making sure they have all their ducks in the row so they can't be accused of conducting a biased politicized investigation, then I would rather see them do it properly, because I want to see these people go to jail. But they have to bring these people to justice. If they don't, then this to me is like, it's a huge deal, because Trump right now, he's keeping his promises on a lot of things. But this one thing, if Pam Bondi does not bring this information to light and she does not bring these people to justice, I really don't believe that Trump will keep her. I think she made a huge mistake recently. Look, she came out and said that she had all of the files on her desk and that she had looked at them and they were bad. I don't care what anybody says. I like Pam Bondi, but the fact is she lied. And everybody caught her in it, because when she pushed forward this, this notebook, that she gave to all of these people, it had all the same crap that had already been released. In fact, it's funny because they redacted a bunch of stuff, but those files have already been released unredacted. You can go and find that information online. I went and found it that same day, because I'm like, this all looks familiar.
Yeah, we had already talked about that same list like 3 years ago.
That's right. So she had to basically, pivot and write a tough letter to Kash Patel, who hasn't been there for that long, but basically saying, hey, they didn't give us this information. So at least she did the right thing by making it public what's going on. It would have been better if she said, hey, look, I screwed up. I was told that I had everything, and it turns out I didn't. That would have been a better thing for her to say, in my opinion. But look, I'm not a politician anymore. So, she's got to do what she's got to do. But I don't think Trump's going to tolerate too many of those FUBARs, because at the end of the day, the American people are pissed about this stuff.
Yes.
And they want to see the truth. They want to know what's going on. They're tired of being lied to. They want full disclosure when it comes to JFK, when it comes to, Martin Luther King Jr., when it comes to RFK. They want to know what the heck is going on. They want to see. There's no excuse for Epstein. It's been 5.5 years.
Yes.
5.5 years. That means that many of these crimes are past the, other than the sex crimes with minors, those have no statute of limitation. A lot of other crimes, once it goes beyond 5 years, it hits a statute of limitation. You can't even prosecute them at that point. So there's no excuse. And when it comes to Hillary Clinton, look, they missed their opportunity, for going after her. They could have, and now I think that unless they can prove, either a capital offense or murder or treason or something like that, they can't go after her for it anymore. So what they ought to do is they ought to just disclose it. There's no investigation. So look, folks, we screwed up. We didn't get an investigation soon enough. So we're going to just disclose this, because the American people have a right to know.
Well,
they have a right to know where their tax money went and how what corruption was going on.
If you go back and read the WikiLeaks, if you go back and read the John Podesta's email, if you go and find out what Seth Green did when it came to the DNC, or the Democratic National Committee, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and all the rest of that, it's out there. Right. I mean, we see it. Why can't law enforcement see it?
That's right. Remember, she went before the Capitol Police and threatened them. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
She went and threatened them, said that she wanted that laptop from him, and she made threats to their office. And, like, why? What's the big deal, Debbie Wasserman Schultz? What are you hiding? I think what they were hiding was the fact that Seth Green was murdered.
Yes.
Because he's the one that carried out those files. And in fact, who was it that it was Donna Brazil was the last person to speak to him at the hospital. He didn't die on the street.
Wait a minute.
That's something a lot of people don't know.
I thought he died instantly on the street after getting shot 2 times
Nope.
jogging in the morning.
That's what the media said, but it came out later that he was actually taken to the hospital. He died at the hospital, and the last person to speak to him was Donna Brazil.
That big gorilla. I mean, that's what Hillary Clinton called her. big black gorilla. Anyway, so when are we gonna see? You know what? I think the only person that's gonna come and snatch her up is the Grim Reaper, and it is.
Yeah.
And don't ask me to cry Argentina, because it ain't gonna happen.
Nope. Hey, what goes around comes around, and that woman has got a lot coming around.
Now, what's coming up on your show? Because I really want you to talk about what you're doing and everything like that. And plus, I'm coming on your show in like 2 weeks.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a fun show. So I've been having all kinds of great guests on. We've been the show is growing, and we've been getting a lot of activity going on. I run a show on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays right now, but I've got so many guests that are wanting to come on. I've had to start doing some additional shows. So occasionally I'm throwing in an extra show on Sunday night, especially if it's like I've had some January Sixers, and they can't wait for 3 months to get on the show. So they need to come on now, because you got some guys that are still rotting in jail.
Yep.
And so that's one thing that we're doing is we're bringing these guys on, or bringing their lawyers on to talk about their cases, because even though they were given pardons by Trump, you have the court system screwing around with them, and I think the wardens and stuff in some of these prisons, and they're basically holding them back and not letting them free. And I've had a number of these guys on to talk about what's happened. Many of them, were treated worse than we treat prisoners of war,
Yes.
and that's the bottom line. The Geneva Convention requires certain things. One of those is that you're required to allow them to get mail. I actually have a stack of mail that was given to me by one of my constituents when I was running for Congress. She gave me a stack of letters that were returned to her from the prison where Shane Jenkins was at, that she had sent letters to. And you know why they were sent back? Because there was a Bible tract that was in one of the letters that had I think it was like a $1 trillion bill or something like that. It was clearly fake. I mean, obviously, it was not any kind of counterfeit. And the form that returned the letter back said was returned due to contraband because of counterfeit money. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was a Bible tract.
I hope these people know that whenever you write into the Bureau of Prison, any prison, they read the mail. They read going out and they read coming in. So if you do, and I'm just advising people working at the federal pen for 10 years, be careful what you say, because stuff gets read. I'm telling you that now. Make sure that, you don't send any contraband in there whatsoever, even if it is that counterfeit, because the Bureau of Prison don't play that. From the stuff that I'm hearing that happened to January the 6th was pretty much torture. A lot of it was
absolutely tortured. And so there needs to be some level of recompense for that. And so I'm exposing some of that and bringing these guys on. The other thing that I think is important, and one of the things that needs to be talked about a lot, is the border issues. I mean, there's so much going on there. So I've had a number of guests on, really great guests on, about the border, experts. I had a guy on, a rear admiral, the other day. We talked about Guantanamo and what is being done there, because they have expanded Guantanamo. They've expanded. There's two sides of that bay. One side has a migrant camp, which is for non-risk people, and then the other side is really risky, dangerous public safety guys, murderers and terrorists and those types, rapists, pedophiles. Trump clearly is expanding that. He's added more courtrooms there. I think they're going to start moving detainees, illegal migrants that are here that they can't immediately send back to their country for whatever reason. They're going to send them to Guantanamo. and they'll be at the migrant camp. Those that are here that are gang members, MS-13, Tre de Aragua, those types, they're going to end up on the other side where they're going to get put there. If they're murderers, I think they'll get tried and they'll be executed. And if you remember, Trump, one of the first executive orders that he did was he reinstituted the federal death sentence, the death penalty at the federal level. And I think that's important. Trump has made statements earlier, by the way. He's made public statements that he wants to see the death penalty for major drug traffickers. And I think that these guys that are smuggling enough fentanyl to kill the entire country over 3 times, those guys need to be put to death.
Yes, they do.
I mean, we've seen over 100,000 people killed in this country a year due to fentanyl.
And
most of them are young
northern,
people.
And it's northern or the southern border. Here's the thing with us growing up with the DARE program.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids, especially when they started getting out in the world, in the street and going to the clubs, listen, I could tell you to say no. But here's the rules. If you didn't see it rolled, you don't put it to your lips. If you put
That's right.
This is what I tell my daughter. You ever have a cup, you sit it down, you leave it alone. If somebody's going to offer you a drink, you better go up to that bar and watch that bartender and that person very closely and never go back and pick up a cup. So we can't live our kids' life, but we could try to teach them common sense when it comes to society, because society don't care about our children. Neither does the Democrats.
I'm glad that you brought that up. You and I are from the Generation X. And when we were growing up, the DARE program was very effective. And they need to bring it back, because that was one of the things. Like I didn't mess around with drugs because it was ingrained in me. You may take something and end up dying because of it being laced with something. And that fear was real in my mind. The same thing was true with drinking and driving. If we got busted for speeding, we had to go to sit through a class, and they made you watch that, what was it, Red Pavement or whatever, the drunk drivers and all of that. And I was scared to drink and drive. Then on top of that, same thing was, with unprotected sex, we had AIDS. So it's like our generation was the generation that didn't mess around with that stuff. It's like we were like, nope.
We have less than a minute left. Go ahead and close us out. Let everybody know where to find you. And please come back on anytime you want to, Nate.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Folks, you can find me at theraisingcainshow.com. I'm part of Patriots Prayer Network on Rumble, but you can find all the shows that I do, including the ones with America Out Loud, Unleash the Political News Hour, and also my Substack, which is mcpota.substack.com. That was my code name. Which you'll find hilarious. It actually stands for Making Communists Pay Out the Ass. And that was picked by my lawyer, but that was my code name when I blew the whistle. And so I have a Substack there that I put out a lot of articles. All of that you can find at theraisingcainshow.com. And you can follow me on all social media at Nate Cain for WV.
All right, everybody, y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Go ahead, Dave.
On our entire We the People line of products. Just use promo code TOLDYOUSO and get 15% off until the end of March. So order today.
Hey, welcome back, welcome back. Respect yourself. We don't have any other guests tonight because Takosha Swan, she had to postpone. She has a very, very important meeting tomorrow with the governor because she's getting ready to run for one of the higher offices. And I think she got a chance as long as we get people to behind her. So she is coming on when she has that big news that she wants to tell y'all. Not only is she going to be doing her own show, she has a studio in East Point, Georgia. And now she is running for a higher office. Holy crap. Takosha Swan running for a higher office. Lord, they are not going to like that at all. So welcome back, everybody. Like I said, it literally shut off on him 5 seconds after we got off. So that would, Sheena, when you say right on time. So this is what Dave decided to do because we haven't played music in a minute, all right? So on just today's show, just today's, it's going to still go on. It's Kool-Aid, but since you're going to be playing some music and we're going to be having fun on the second hour of the show, hook a sister up. That's all I'm saying. So that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to shut off Facebook. After the first hour of the show, we're getting back to playing some music, Jonan talking about what's going on in the news, talk about what's going on that happened last night, and wherever else Christy Fowler and the D-Livers want to take us. I need to show y'all some love. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we showed Christy, and Paul Wall, and Warren Pika, and Charles, and Amy, and April, and Jones, and Mary Martha, and Stewart some love. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little bit fun, and we're going to play some music where I don't have to have copyright strikes on Facebook. Let me get on over here. And make sure y'all get over there to fallbackusa2.myshopify.com. Fight. And do not forget about our rally. We got 6 speakers already, 2 performers. We got 6 speakers so far and 2 performers. So right now we got Antonio Jones going to be coming here performing. We got Matt. Hey, Matt Thompson. He's going to be here performing, having new music also. We got Joe Viscotti. Like I said, coming down from Connecticut. We have, Jerome Davison, Pastor Jerome, coming from Arizona. We have also Luke Basso. He's coming in from North Kakalaki, Westminster area up there. We have Keith Green coming in from Lee County, way down there in Florida. We have Jaquan. He's coming up Stanbridge. He lives in Georgia. Okay. Then we have Captain Robert Cornicelli. He's coming in from South Kakalaki. So do not forget on April the 12th. Right here, Faith Over Fear, celebrate veterans and first responders. And it's going to start at 12. So if you're a small business, you're a small vendor, come on over. Set up your wares, help us out. You can do that. And this is also what we want to do. Because we want to actually have and raise enough funds to give a check to Walton County Sheriff Department and also feed all of our first responders and veterans that day that actually shows up. So again, bring your kids. There will be a bounce house. They'll have a great time also. And if you are a vendor, you sell your wares, you got some books, okay? Please get in contact with me if you want to set up your booth at our event. And that is April the 12th. So there you go, everybody. And donate. Hey now, hey Cher. He was a good one. That was Raising Cain with Nate Cain. Hey there, what's going on, Miss Valerie? Then why did the FBI guy resign to New York? Like Pam Bundy did great for Florida. Why? I guess he didn't want to go to jail. He didn't want to lose that pension. That's why he retired. Like he said, they give him a choice. But he stepped down or he retired. I guess he just didn't want to go to jail. So if you're talking about the chief guy up there in New York at the FBI, yeah, that's the only thing. My conclusion of coming up, insubordinate, other than your ass get fired, lose all that pension, lose all that money, lose all that time, or you retire, but we're still going to do our investigation. So there's a lot of investigations that we would like to know. We would like to know why people aren't arrested yet, too, but there's a whole new world. His name is Trump. All right, then. Pam Bundy, like he said, she might be out if she lie again. I don't think, listen, if he couldn't put up with Omarosa lying on a continuous basis, in every episode of Apprentice that I found, and they was out there in the street doing some kind of task or award, ceremony or a reward test. What did Trump do when he was sitting across the table? Him and somebody, the other three people that were sitting over there. He catch him in a lie. What did he say? You fired. I don't think Trump deal with liars on a consistent basis without snapping, okay? But that's just me. And I don't think Trump is going to continue to allow the people around him to stab him in the back or keep lying to him. But that's the Trump that I grew up on. So this tempered, that ain't Trump. That ain't Trump either. The calmer Trump, the calmer Trump after Butler situation is a more focused Trump. So whatever happened, let them show their hands. Like I said, if it was me, and it's not me and it's not you, they asses would have been arrested by now. I'm pouring out some liquor for little Pookie and Ray Ray that's doing time for a dime bag, okay? No, I would have arrested their ass by now, but I believe in tit for tat. Get back over here. Hey there, Sherry. How you doing? I like her too, but if they can't do the job, then Trump will fire them quickly. And I guess we all gonna sit here and watch and see. This is gonna be a long, prosperous 3 years and 3/4 of another year. Listen, we still got a while. So anything and everything could damn happen. I mean, if God didn't create the world in a day, then come on now. And if they didn't make us and break us in 24 hours, give it some time. It's like, where you going? Unless, they coming after you. If they coming after you, I'm gonna report on it, cause I'm good. Hold on. Let me think about that, Sherry. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I had to think hard, cause I be doing some shit. That was 20 years ago. That was 30. That was a decade. Oh, I'm fine then. I'm good. All my skeletons are brass knuckled up, okay? Because they term limits. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing out there? Debbie Blathermouth Schultz. You know what? She need a black girl perm. That tightness of the curls, make it look frizzy and nappy. I just wanted to say that. It's like she's not using conditioner or heat protected. It's something about Debbie Wasserman Schultz's hair that she need a best friend to be like, girl, you might need some sheen on that, because it's always looking nappified. And black people supposed to have nappy hair. But girl, she need a perm. She really need a flat iron. She really do. Maybe give her a Jerry curl, just souling and the glowing. Hey there, girl. Hey, Sherry. I'm a Gen Xer. Thank God we didn't have cameras. I don't give a dang. Y'all ain't all too goody out there. If you a Gen Xer, half the day your parents didn't know where the hell you were. Yeah, we just gonna. Sherry, look at all these goodies. Like, in the 80s, I was a good girl. You lying? What side of town was you on? Hey there, you tired of Debbie? I'm tired of Chuck, Dick, Nancy, Jasmine, Al, the whole damn Democratic Party. And the guy that died then blamed it on Trump. Do you hear that? This dude died from cancer. They blame it on Trump. I said, can Trump win for losing? Yeah, there's a Democrat that died immediately because of listening to Trump. I said, what? Where he died at? Oh, he died from cancer. It's Trump's fault. They trying to blame Trump for killing a man that was dying of cancer. I'm sitting here like, you know what? They gonna bust hell wide open. Yeah, Sherry?
Yeah, the same people who wouldn't even cheer for a kid that survived cancer.
Democrat dies after Trump's speech. Some black guy. There he is, right there. Listen to the way they said it. Democratic Representative Sylvester. That's my daddy's name. Turner dies following Trump's speech. That's the Wall Street Journal. Here's Daily News. Texas Rep. Sylvester Turner dies at 70 shortly after attending Trump's speech. Here's the E! Online. Representative Sylvester dies after attending President Trump address. Yeah, here's another one. Washington Post. Look inside Trump's speech through 2 concerned members, one that died. I said, damn, we're going to put on your robe and stand behind Nancy. What the hell is this one? Who is the congressman escorted out? That was so stupid. Even a caveman can do it. You know, he said he was going to impeach Trump. Ha! Ha! He said he gonna impeach Trump because Trump kicked him out. I said, well, technically, it was Mike. Now here, MSNBC. Let's read what they say. Here's this. Representative Sylvester Turner, a Democrat, Texas Democrat, dies at 70. The former Houston mayor, who was just 2 months into his first term, attended President Trump's address in Congress on Tuesday and passed away after Trump's speech. I said, what the hell? Y'all giving that man a lot of clout. Yeah, y'all get, dang, he like a Grim Reaper now. Trump is orange man bad. He's killing people just by speaking. I said, here's my favorite. Look at that little boy, DJ. What the hell about DJ? He's a token. See, look at him. They got him as a token. He's a token. He's a token. He's a token. He's a token. All Democrats said this. I sat there and I blocked that page, blocked that person. You talking like this about a 13-year-old that has been through 12-year-old that's been through 13 brain surgeries, and this is how y'all gonna, you know what? Block your black ass too. I was blocking people left and right today. Hey Sherry, how you doing? I didn't know Sheila Jackson Lee retired. She did? All right. Oh, my mama said if you ain't got nothing good to say, hopefully she take off them damn cowboy hats because it don't look good. All right, back over here. Hey, Karma, how you doing? I put beepers on my 3 sons. They spelled boob and hell. It was 4377 and boobs 8008 5. I'm old. How old are you? 50 years old. Yes, I held shoulders. All right, back over here. When they asked me how they would know it was me, I told them the code would be mom. Hold up, what spell mom? You just should have said boob. Okay, back over here. Or SOS. That was another one. You should have said SOS. But back to what you were saying, Guardian of the Galaxy. When they looked at the letters on the phone, they said, yep, that figures. Mom is calling. What was mom, Dave? What numbers is spelled mom on a beeper? I never did that one. I said boobs a lot. Okay, back over here. Okay, then. They really hurt me when I saw DJ being bullied. That's what you call sexy red, listeners. That's the ratchet of society. Oh, I saw that too. And I showed my daughter. And she got angry. Brie don't get angry. She said, "Ma." I said, "Yeah, I know." Ratchet. These are the ones that can quote sexy red left to right, and probably heard the whole song of WAP because I haven't, because they got some wet ass. Okay, right. Hey, Sheila Jackson Lee is dead. On to the next. Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? If you don't have anything nice to say to somebody, I'm gonna Joan on their ass anyway. They're a Democrat. They deserve it. It's payback for the last 5 years of my damn life for having to deal with they bush on a consistent basis and their demonic followers. So now I play tit for tat. I always got something nasty to say. See, I don't do nice nastiness. I'm just straight in your face. So I don't deal with that anymore, and I'm not going to turn the other cheek or be nice for anyone I don't want to be. So what will I do? Play tit for tat. Yes, he gave me 4 cheeks. They're all shafted. And if you listening to the FDA, I can't use that cortisone cream anymore because it goes against Dr. Fauci, and I need to listen to the experts. So if anybody out there thinking I'm soft-hearted and I'm a pushover, you got another damn thing coming. So I have a lot of not nice things to say, and we'll say them quick. And with it in their face, too, because that's how bold I am. Yes, I don't hide my light under a bushel trying to make friends And I'm never politically correct. I was born in 1974. I was never taught to be. But that's what my parents and my school teachers taught me, honey. They said, think for your damn selves and don't be no pushover. So, honey, not me. Yeah. You know, shorty swing my way. Show looks good to me. Now would you please swing it my way? Shorty swing my way. Because you ain't going to swing back anybody else's way. Swing it over here, shorty. See? Hoods in the woods ain't that damn far apart. And neither is suburbia or a gated community. Because you can hop over those too. Oh, Lucretia, who turned you like this? The last 5 effing years. And I'm not backing down anytime soon. So this is the real news with Lucretia Hughes, where it literally says right there, if you don't like any topic that's not that is spoken on this show, turn the damn channel. Yes. All right then. Hey, Martax, what am I supposed to be soft-hearted? No. I'm a black Republican, baby, and a conservative John Bircher Tea Party person. Ain't nothing nice about me. I'm not that easy of a target. What?
Well, if you were a easy pushover and soft-hearted,
I was.
But if
the Republican Party beat that shit out of me.
If you still were, we'd be friends, but we wouldn't be married.
Like I said, even the Republican Party beat that out of me. So I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. I don't clutch pearls. I'll be okay with vodka, comrade. I'm not big on social grace. It's gonna slip on down to the atmosphere, 'cause I got friends in that damn bar. Seriously. That's why I'm not invited to Republican Party meetings in the state of Georgia, and I don't give a damn. On that note, everybody, this is the end of the first hour of the show. Let's go have some fun. It's been some heavy stuff that we need to talk about and really start joning on people. So y'all know what to do. Get over there to D Live, Rumble, over there to X. You can stay on Kick. You can stay on Twitch, God Family Country, R2 Media, and just follow me down the yellow brick road. I mean, there's no gold down there, but there's a lot of kick-ass and some cowboy boots. All right, Dave, you know what to do.
We are running a sale on our entire We the People line of products. Just use promo code TOLDYOUSO